a new season. It's a new day. It's a new day. Fresh anointing. It's flowing my way. It's flowing my way. Can you stand it tonight?
Good morning. Good morning to all of you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome to DJ Real Talk in the Raw. We have quite a few interesting topics on this morning that we're going to talk about regarding what's going on in our country. Very interesting how things are starting to happen. So we're going to talk about those things regarding the orange man that is currently in the People's House, the White House. And so there's a lot we need to talk about in regards to this guy who seems to, only care about himself and all of his rich cronies, and seems to find money for everything but the American people. It is something. So we're going to really talk about some things on this morning. But first of all, I want to say welcome to everybody. Welcome. I hope you're going to enjoy this as much as I am. And what I need you to do right now, if you would, please, ma'am and sir, if you would like and subscribe my YouTube page. It is DJ Real Talk in the Raw. So if you go to YouTube, I need you to like and subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It costs me something, but don't cost you anything. Like and subscribe my YouTube page, DJ Real Talk in the Raw. I want to thank all of you on Facebook. When I look and see all of you that are watching, I hope it's informative, that I am helping you to think and to make wise choices and things of that nature when it comes to our government. Yes, of course, we're going to talk about a lot of other things, but right now we own this government because we're in a lot of trouble. This country, the richest country in the world, but you can't take care of your own people. Something's wrong. Well, you can take care of your friends, but you can't take care of the American people, the working class people, those that are actually shouldering the whole burden of this country. We're the only ones that's paying taxes, because millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires, they really don't pay taxes. We shoulder the burden of this country, but yet they often want to tell us how to spend our money. Ain't that something? Yes. So if you would like and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that. Like and subscribe on my YouTube page, DJ Real Talk in the Raw. I'm actually trying to build that audience, but I need your help to do it. Okay? Thank you so much. Please, ma'am and sir. So let's get into it. Well, we know number one, for whatever reason, the American people voted for this taco and this orange man. They felt that he was going to be the best person to lead this country, to be our commander-in-chief. Based on what? I don't know. I really don't. Because number one, starting out, the man was a 34-count convicted felon. That's starting out. He was already convicted of 34 counts before he ever received votes from a lot of you. And I'll never understand that. Number one, starting out of the gate, the man was a convicted felon. And some way or another, he ended up in the People's House because you did it. And now that he's there, this man is carrying out his vengeance on all of those whom he feel have wronged him in the justice system under the Biden administration. We may as well go back to the Obama administration because he's constantly blaming President Obama and President Biden for everything that's going on in this country since he took office. Amazing. Amazing. And so he is now, well, I guess you would say in power. He's, to a lot of you, the king, a lot of you, the emperor. He's all of that. Well, to some of you, you said he was Jesus. I'm scared of y'all. But anyway, some preacher, I think, built like a golden calf, a statue of him. I thought to myself, what kind of preacher is that? That is not a true man of God. So whoever belongs to that church, if you are going, you need to stop. But anyway, so let's talk about this thing. We know, number one, the first thing he did is decided he wanted to build himself a dining room. He said it was going to cost $400 million, this dining room, and that he and his friends, his donors, were going to pay for this gaudy dining room that he needed when he tore down the east wing of the People's House so that he can build a new dining room. And some kind of way, this room that he was building that was supposed to be $400 million now has become $1 billion. $1 billion. And he wants the American people to take on this cost, right? Good morning, Gail. And so we're having some issues with that, and we're going to talk about it. And then all of a sudden, y'all remember January 6th, that peaceful protest that he so often talks about, that was a riot, that was an insurrection, where they breached the Capitol and caused a lot of damage, loss of lives, injured people. Lives will never be the same. Their lives have been changed forever. Our law enforcement, who were there, to serve and protect, were brutally beaten, some killed, by these peaceful protesters as they were falling off the walls, breaking out windows, trying to batter their way through the doors. And, well, they broke in. That's a criminal. They broke in this house we call the Capitol. And they broke in. They weren't invited in. You have to have an invitation. You know that, right? To go to the Capitol. You need an invitation. Got it? And so, listen. But they broke in this house. My brother Michael, hey, they broke in and they damaged property. They were looking to find Democrats and the vice president because they were going to do harm to them, these peaceful protesters. I got to set this thing up real good so y'all can understand where I'm going. And while their commander-in-chief was in a bunker watching and just, yay, go get him, that kind of thing. From my understanding, people were telling him, you need to stop this. And he didn't. Okay, so now these folk under the Biden administration, his Justice Department were able to identify all of them. And they were indicted, charged, and they had trials. and their peers heard their cases. Some of them even admitted they're wrong and pled guilty, and others didn't, but they were found guilty by their peers and sentenced to prison. So good job under the Biden administration. All these people needed to pay, right? Well, then you people decided you wanted to vote for a 34 count convicted felon who happens to be now in the people's house. Must remind you, built by the hands of slaves. Now, this man gets in office, and there was this project they called 2025, a playbook that all of them wrote, these Republicans, of how they would make Democrats pay, who they were going to get back, and what people they were going to harm. And a lot of folk were in that didn't think they were in it. And now they found out they are in it. And all of a sudden, I didn't vote for that. So I'm always reminding you that you did vote for it. You did. A 34 count convicted felon. Rapist, all of that. Got it? We heard it when he was sitting on that, what's that? A Winnebago. He was sitting in this, and he was bragging on how he would grab women's coochies. And he said, and they like it. We heard it with our own ears. This was before the fool was ever elected. And you still voted for him. Even you stupid women. Some of y'all voted for him. Well, a lot of y'all voted for him. Yeah. But anyway, let's get to something. So it is very interesting that this Republican Senate and Republican Congress have never said a mumbling word about everything that this clown has done. Nothing. They have relinquished all of their authority, their power to this man. And they wait on him to give them instructions. And they've been doing that. Yet making $187,000 a year. So have they earned the taxpayers' money? No, they haven't worked at all. Only to do the bidding of this orange man, not their constituents, not of the people, but this man whom they fear. It's amazing. They fear this man, but they don't fear the constituents, the ones that we call voters. If you fear anyone, I would think you would fear those that have to vote you into office or vote you out of office. But they don't fear you. They fear their fearless leader, the orange taco. Yes. And so they have allowed this man to dismantle our government. Yes. And when it comes to people of color, folk that look like me, baby, they have just one executive order after the other ripped apart our Constitution, where it gave us some rights. And they have just taken them all the way through an executive order. And the only ones that have been crying loud and sparing not are the Democrats. And you got these Republicans. I can't say they're church mouse because I don't believe they know anything about the house of God. Because if they did, they would not sit back and say nothing at all. But they have said nothing. So this man just goes about doing what he wants to do. Venezuela, he goes over there, invades their country, snatches their president, and his wife drags them to the United States, and tomorrow he's going to put them on trial. I would think, other countries may look at this country and feel they need to come drag him and his wife and put them on trial. What y'all think? Then he turns around and there's Iran. I'm setting it up. There's Iran, having a problem with, what? Well, we know Israel's having a problem with them. And so whomever Israel has a problem with, the United States has to have a problem with. And so now this orange man have our young people, men and women, in a senseless war. And every day, oil prices are going up. Your gasoline, $5, $6, all of that, for the working class man or woman. Then he had the Doge man who came in to streamline government, all the waste. And he fired how many federal workers? And they eliminated all of these programs, millions and billions and billions of dollars that Doge, the musky man, came in to save because it was waste that dealt with your health care, that dealt with education, that dealt with food, that dealt with your Social Security, your Medicare, your Medicaid, all of this health care, all of these things, they just went in and gutted all the different grants that, help subsidize it, things of that nature, the schools and all of the different programs, money that helped the working class people. They gutted all of that because it was a waste. Well, it's amazing. It's a waste, right? But this man now decided to tear down the east wing of our house, the White House, because he wants a new dining room. And the thing is, it's not his house. See, you can do anything in your house because you're going to live there, until you either sell it or die. You're going to live there. So whatever you want to do to your house, you can. But see, you can't do anything to somebody else's house, like renters. They can't just do anything to that property. They got to get some permission. Got it? Because it don't belong to them. Well, this man is living in the people's house. It don't belong to him. But he made a decision to tear down the east wing so he could build a dining room. Didn't ask the Senate nor the Congress. He just did it. And the Republican Senate and the Republican House of Representatives, Congress, allowed him to. The people's house. Then he said, well, it's going to cost about $400 million. And, I got donors. They're going to pay for it. This little gaudy thing that he wants to put gold in. It's amazing. I don't understand it. Well, the Bible talk, they was building these graven image made of gold, all that kind of stuff like that, well, idols and all that. But so he's into gold. But anyway, so they tore it down. Now, all of a sudden, the people's house has been changed. Whole east wing demolished. Now the cost to repair this dining room now is $1 billion. $1 billion. Now, in the beginning, those Republicans weren't saying anything about it. They said, oh, he deserve it. He deserve it. Why y'all making a big, they need a bigger dining room to host and all of that. But American people, listen, remember, I always tell you that your voice is power. And we really do have the power if we use it. And so all of a sudden now the American people are starting to use their power, which is their voice and their vote. And so now this Republican regime, Gail and Michael, who have just been doing the bidding of their master, realize that they can be out of work. And so they're getting a little anxious. They're a little afraid of what their futures can look like. I would, that's $187,000 a year to do nothing? Really? So now all of a sudden, they're not so in agreement with this $1 billion that he wants the taxpayers to pay for his dining room, which is not lawful. Many attorneys have stated that it's against the law, even in the Constitution and all of that. It's against the law that he does not have free reign to do this. You know, take taxpayers' money to pay for this dining room. $1 billion. $1 billion. And so all of a sudden, I think the dining room has come to a halt. Yeah, this $1 billion that he wants. Good morning, Michelle. I think the dining room, I'm believing he ain't getting $1 billion off of the sweat of the taxpayer, because it ain't gonna work. And Democrats have been speaking out, and so I don't think the $1 billion that he thought was coming to him for this dining room is going to happen. That $1 billion, no, ain't getting it. Listen, people, never forget, your voice and your vote is power, but you have to use it to see and to get results. Understand? And so midterm is coming in November. Now you got all these Republicans afraid. They need a job. They want an easy job because they've done nothing for the money in which taxpayers have been paying them. I'm talking about them Republicans. Nothing. They have not earned one dime. Yet, Mike Johnson of the House stated that, why don't y'all let them trade stock? You know, that insider trading. Because we got to take care of our families. That's what he said. Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House. He don't understand why the American people are so upset. They need a raise and they need to take care of their family. But what is minimum wage? What is minimum wage? The federal government, what do they do about a living wage? But they're upset because they need a raise. They got to take care of their families. And as we see with the stock market, I'm not understanding how this is working. 1 minute, the man's a liar. So why would they believe, he says something that seems to be positive, the stock market goes up. Then when it doesn't happen, the stock market goes down. They call that insider trading. That allows millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires to trade and buy stock. See, little people like us with your 401k, we can't afford to do that. Do you know how long it takes for your 401k to recover those kinds of hits? It takes a long time for your 401k to recover because you don't have that kind of money to play with, where they're making millions of dollars off of the hardship of the American people's 401ks and any other type of stock plan that you have. They're making money. Wow. You are suffering. Amazing, isn't it? But he says they should be allowed to play the stock market and trade because their families are in need of money. Mike Johnson. Yes, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House. That's what he said. But anyway, let's get back to this money. So this $1 billion for the dining room that he wants, this gaudy whatever monstrosity that he wants to do, that I can't wait for the Democrats to take office to get rid of all of that mess if it comes to pass. I don't think they're going to see that money. Not that $1 billion. Then, remember those peaceful protesters that they want, let's see it. I'm going to read this because I got to read it because it makes more sense. The anti-weaponization fund of $1.8 billion is part of a settlement that resolves the Orange Man lawsuit against Internal Revenue Service over the leaking of his tax returns. So remember, he was suing the Internal Revenue Service because they, leaking his tax returns because he wasn't paying no money, but didn't want the American people to know that he wasn't paying anything, but you are. So he was suing them. Well, they dropped the lawsuit, him and his little family, in return for some money. And it said here, this money, it will allow people who believe they were targeted for prosecution for political purposes by the Biden administration Justice Department to apply for payments. Yes. And this was created by his personal attorney, who happens to be the acting attorney general. Yeah. And they want our tax dollars to pay restitution, not to black people in regards to slavery, but to these peaceful protesters they called patriots of the January 6th insurrection, who killed people, beat people, destroyed property, all of the above, broke the law, tried, convicted, imprisoned. And then when this criminal that y'all voted for got into office, he pardoned every last one of them. See, that was probably part of the deal. You do this for me, I'll do that for you. There probably was a lot of conversation going on that we weren't privy to in regards to if they did a certain thing, what they would gain from it. Oh, you might have to go to jail for a little while, but don't worry, because when we steal the election, I'm going to let all y'all out. Because I got a guy we call the Musty Man, who has all these computer geniuses that's going to work on those machines. And y'all won't have to worry, because we're going to win. And I'm going to let you out. So he's pardoning all these people. They're out. Criminals. A lot of criminals. And they're free. Now, he feels that these criminals are due restitution, our tax dollars, for their hardship, being away from home, loss of job, bankruptcies, and all of that, attorney fees, and they need to be compensated for what the Biden administration did to them so wrongly. So we're going to fix it. And we got this weaponization fund, $1.8 billion, that's going to pay all of them restitution. Which is against the law, number one. But when you've put all your people in position, all they're doing is signing. Well, I take that back. One attorney resigned. Yes, he did. He said, I'm not in this mess. My name is Wes, and I ain't in this mess. And that man resigned because he knew what they were doing was illegal. But then he has his other friends that will about sign anything, right? Anything. And so he wrote this up. And this money is, you hear it all over the news, like a slush fund. Good morning, First Lady Roberts. Like a slush fund. And they say he can do whatever he wants with it. No scrutiny, nothing. Nobody can ask anything. And all of them criminals and his colleagues, even senators who felt wronged by the Biden administration, can apply applications. You can apply. And these criminals, he's saying, and we're going to pay you restitution. If there are any people that have ever been wrong in this country, it is people of color. And they have never thought one moment, 1 second of the day to pay any restitution to any of us for how they treated people of color, our ancestors, even us today. No restitution. But you want to give criminals that you call patriots, peaceful protesters, our tax dollars. Remember, they don't pay taxes. It's not their money. It's your money. Gail, Michael, Michelle, Sean, First Lady Darlene, it's your money. It ain't their money that they want to give, but they won't give you. They gutted everything to help you. Anything that was there in place to help American people, working class people, they have gutted. Let me see this right here. Let me see. I need to read this real quick. Gotta read it. Let me find it. Gotta find it. Where is it? Come on. Here we go. I gotta read this. Trump says it's not possible for the United States to pay for Medicare, Medicaid, and daycare. He said because we are fighting a war. But the Justice Department settled up with $1.8 billion, which is a fund that could funnel money to Trump's allies. This slush fund. But he can't take care of you. It's amazing how people find money. They couldn't find money to help the American people, the richest country in the world, that folk can have a decent quality of life. But they have found money for so many other things. You want to find $1 billion for a dining room with gold ain't feeding nobody, ain't helping nobody. But you found that money. Well, you thought you found that money off of the backs of the taxpayers. Then, to reward insurrectionists, criminals, you again thought you found $1.8 billion to pay them restitution. You found that money. I want the American people to pay attention. When they say stay awake, you need to wake up. Because while they are gutting everything that can be of help to you, they are finding money to do what he wants to do for his people, including his family, including them. Got it? They said this man, the attorney general, wrote something that, all the money that his family is making off the backs of the people stealing. You can't ask no questions once they're out of office. None. You can't investigate nothing. Oh, we can't be investigated. None of our finances, nothing can be investigated. Who've ever heard anything like that in your life? But criminals, they have something in common. And it's the word criminal. See, the insurrectionists, a lot of them, they were behind bars. But this 34 count convicted felon, who should have been in prison, never saw a jail cell because y'all voted for him to help keep him out of prison. That man would have been locked up. You wouldn't be without a job. You wouldn't have lost your home. You wouldn't have good health care. All these things you would have had if you only did the right thing, but you didn't. You voted for a 34 count convicted felon. But now, let's see. What's going on is those officers that were trying to protect the Capitol building and the people in it, harmed by it. Well, number one, I would be too, insulted, angered by the fact that this orange man wants to pay restitution for folk that came in and did harm to our law enforcement. But you want to pay them restitution. So these folk that have been scarred for life have decided, these officers, to sue Trump, that orange man, over the $1.8 billion slush fund, alleging presidential corruption. So now they're suing him. Kudos. Because what are they saying? Why are we paying with our tax dollars criminals restitution? When there was loss of lives, physically people will never be the same. Mentally, people will never be the same. And these same Republicans that have sat back and have said nothing. If y'all remember, they were running and screaming and hiding under desks, trying to barricade themselves in from these peaceful protesters, these patriots. And they forgot. I don't know what they think when they play it back on television, them hiding in fear. That alone but they sit back and say nothing. But now all of a sudden, the Senate, the Speaker, decided that there's an issue with this money. And they closed shop. And they went home and they said they'll adjourn and they'll come back in June because they need some answers. You know why they need answers? They're afraid about the midterm. But what I want to say to the people is this. Every Republican, they all need to go. See, what they're trying to do is stop this because they want you to think they've done something for you. But what you need to think about is even before this, what have they done for you lately? Nothing. I don't have a short memory. Even in the church, they tell me, oh, we're supposed to forgive and forget. Oh, I forgive, but the memory is always there. I don't have a short memory. Yeah, I remember. I remember January 6th. Yeah, I remember those executive orders that they allowed that orange crap taco to write. I remember them with DEI, affirmative action, the Civil Rights Voters Act. I remember, I haven't forgotten any of that. I remember when they say your children don't need to eat. Daycare, what about daycare? Medicare, Medicaid, health care. I remember. I haven't forgotten any of that. And you, the American people, it is time for you to remember. And a lot of you are doing just that. Because it's evident at the polls. So in November, when you go to the polls, they haven't worked for you. They haven't even treated you right. Why keep them? Why? Vote them out. We must turn this around before it's too late. We're already in a deep hole. Republicans are always putting this country in debt. But the debt has nothing to do with us, working class people. You don't even get the benefit of the debt. It's always them reaping the benefits. So, in November, you get an opportunity to show them and tell them how you feel about how you've been treated. Because I want to remind y'all, I got to remind you, while y'all caring about people that don't care about you, I don't understand that. In a normal relationship, at some point, a fool has to wake up. Am I correct? You can't care more about others than they would ever care about you, can you? At some point, you wake up. I hope you do. That man said, and I'm going to remind you, that orange taco said, this was his statement. I don't think about Americans' financial situations when negotiating with Iran. My focus instead is on preventing them from obtaining a nuclear weapon. Remember that mass destruction? They all got it. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it again. We don't know what the United States has, do we? We don't know what countries have any types of nuclear weapons, do we? I guarantee you this. If any other country has a nuclear weapon, you can believe me that the United States has one too. But you want to prevent that from happening. No. You wanted their oil, number one. And you're doing the bidding of Israel. Because y'all, there's some money they get. Israel's always funding them to do what they say. And they follow what Israel tells them to do because they get paid. And they don't care about the consequences when it comes to the American people. I just want to remind y'all, don't take this lightly. In November, get out there like you've never gotten before. Tell your friends, your neighbors, your family to get their lazy behinds up and fight. See, your voice and your vote, it matters. It matters. And so, if people continue to crap on you, how long you gonna take it? How long you gonna take it? That's all I want to know. How long are you gonna take it? At some point, folk realize, ain't gonna take this no more. And you get up, you dust yourself off, and you fight. So your fight is in your voice and your vote. So in November, go to the polls with a smile. Because you're smiling because you're saying you're out of here. And vote them out. Every Republican needs to go. Don't leave none of them. I'm just being honest. And we got 3 or 4 turncoat Democrats, that are really Republicans because they never helped the Democrats. But they need to go. They need to go. Vote them out. Vote them out. Do the right thing for yourself, for your family, for your future. Because he done told you he don't care about you. And those Republicans are showing you in the Senate and in the Congress, the House of Representatives, don't care about you either. Because if they did, they would have stood up for you. And they're not doing that. Now they're a little scared right now. Because they say, we're going to lose our seats. You're supposed to say, yes, you are. Yes, you are. So until Monday, this is DJ Real Talk in the Raw. And I need y'all to do me a favor again. I need you to like and subscribe to my YouTube page, DJ Real Talk in the Raw. And guess what? Sunday, it is Pentecostal Sunday. Those of us that are believers, we know what Pentecostal Sunday stands for. It was the birth of the church, right? And I know at my church, New Life Covenant Southeast, we're going to praise the Lord on Pentecostal Sunday. We do it every Sunday. But, you know, this coming Sunday, it's just, I think, an extra bounce is going to be in our praise because it is the birth of the church. And to every believer, get up and go to church. And to use that our Christians and non-believers, y'all need to find Jesus. Find Jesus. Okay? Well, I need to take that back. I love that song. But they say Jesus ain't lost because he ain't. You lost. You need to accept Jesus. Let me fix that. You need to do that. Got it? Then you will become a believer. A believer. And believers don't sit back and watch folk mistreat anybody. And one more time, as I leave you, listen. That man in our house, the people's house, is of a reprobate mind. Look it up. He's a liar. Don't know the truth if it hits him in the face. And so, he doesn't belong to our God. Because if he did, erecting golden statues, acting like you, Jesus, writing Bibles, and putting a constitution. The word of God said we don't add or subtract anything from the word of God. They may don't know him. You hear me? And all of you that's following him, you don't know Jesus either. Okay? I said it. So listen, before you leave your home today, plead the blood of Jesus over your house, family, friends, neighbors, enemies, and frenemies. God's protective blood, even your loved ones, that God will cover you and keep you safe because we're not living in a world that really fears God. A lot of folk have a lack of fear of God, and they'll do almost anything. You can see it in the government. So you need to stay prayed up. Cover the people with God's protective blood. Remember the blood on the doorpost where the death angel passed the folk by? Cover the people. Cover yourselves in the blood. Get it? And never forget these three mantras. Listen, my brother, the short guy, Minister Antonio Thickpen, says to go and be great. My God brother, the one and only Jesse Campbell, tells us to love and light. I remind us every day that when you were created in the womb of your mother, God gave you a purpose and an assignment. Walk in your purpose. Fulfill your God-given assignments that are attached to your life. You understand? Because all three mantras lead to kingdom building. At the end of the day, never forget, everything leads to the cross. And guess what? The word of God says, watch as well as pray. Praying time. Pray without cease. And never forget, faith without works is dead. That's for the believer. Oftentimes, y'all talk about the prayer part, but what about the faith without works? Got to have some works behind it. Let God lead you, show you what to do, how to do, and then do it. How do we deal with carjackers? Well, number one, keep your doors locked, keep your windows up. And if that sucker walks up to your car and they're trying to get in, you say, I don't know you. Put your foot on the gas, press it to the floor, and drag them suckers until they let go. And again, my brother, Troy Taylor Jr. told me to tell you and call 911. And I'm letting you know so that they can come and pick up the trash. Got it? This is DJ Real Talk in the Raw. So I'll see all of you on Monday at 8 o'clock a.m. Until then, have a fantastic day. Go to church on Sunday. Brick and mortar church. And to all of you believers, happy Pentecostal Sunday. See ya. Love all of you. Bye-bye.
It's a new season. It's a new day. It's a new day. Fresh anointing. It's